The Out of Bounds podcast is brought to you by the delicious Philly cheesesteak sandwich and cheeseburgers at Roosevelt's at Live Oaks Golf Club.
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
It's all coming back
From the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the Bank Plus studio.
And there it comes again.
Mississippi's #1 sports talk show, The Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Streaming worldwide live on the Out of Bounds radio app and on your radio at ESPN 105.9.
What is that?
What is that?
The Zone.
Oh, man, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Welcome in. Out of Bounds, the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN, 50,000-watt FM. 50,000-watt FM, built on SEC football, driven by the y'all lifestyle. Oh, my goodness, we've got topics for days, and it's late May. I mean, we had a monster day on the podcast yesterday. Because of you. Thank you. You know, every now and then, like 99% of our partners get it, right? But every now and then we'll have somebody we're working with, and they're like, well, I mean, do we need to be on in May or June? I'm like, our biggest podcast numbers, if you take the last 10 years, have been in June. If you want to miss out, that's fine. There's no downtime. We got Aaron Rodgers. In the Packers drama, we got Dak Prescott coming back from injury and looking great. We have Tanner Allen and Doug Nikhazy, two of the best players in all of college baseball. We have two top 10 teams, one national seed, one top 16 seed. We've got college baseball in Oxford and Starkville next weekend, and then we got Kiffin and Leach. I mean, it's just topics for days. But as Blake and I were discussing before the show, thank you for going to Apple Podcast and searching the Out of Bounds Show. And we would love for you to hit the subscribe button. But the podcast was on fire yesterday. And we continue to grow there, and it's really, really exciting. Our digital is through the roof. If you want a piece of it, come on. We will grow your business. We're streaming live on the Out of Bounds radio app. Speaking of, that's available too. Several different ways you can hit us up. The Farm Bureau Insurance call-in line, 601-995-1059. Twitter handle, @BoBounds. Brought to you by the Spray and Bedliners and Lift Kits at Rick's Pro Truck. Well, I guess they have two new locations, right? The retail. They're both retail, but Gluckstadt, Madison County. Great looking place, building. Casey and the team do a great job there. Rick's Pro Truck, RPT. And then RPT Commercial now, right there on Highway 80, right by the airport, Miskelly's. And Jeffcoat and Fowler Buick GMC and all those places that we know about. So super excited for Rick and Justin. Love to see Mississippi businesses expanding. Every single employee ad is huge, but locations, employees, that's delicious. We're growing, and the state is growing, and we haven't even scratched. I mean, we've got the runway is beautiful. I'm excited. Mississippi Ag John Deere Tractor text line is 601-885-3776. Managing your land. Well, it starts with Mississippi Ag and agup.com. John Deere, America's Tractor, John Deere Lawnmowers, too. Right there in Pearl, which is close to RPT Commercial. Right there in Pearl. And then, again, Gluckstadt. No, just north of that in Canton. I've got Blake Mania with me. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. We'll have Mike Detillier on LSU. Blake, TJ Finley is going to Auburn. So Bo Nix, the Auburn prodigy, so to speak, from the time he was born, and the much heralded Birmingham metro area quarterback, Bo Nix, who has started the last 2 years at Auburn. And Bo's a nice quarterback.
A 3-star with the right last name?
Probably at the end of the day. Yeah. But again, we'll see what the new staff can do with him. But TJ Finley was at LSU. And TJ has skills, okay? I mean, athletic. He's got the body. He's got skills. Now, how good is he? I don't know. You know, y'all know the drill. This position is both amazing, but it is brutal to play at the high school level, especially if they ask you to throw the ball. College level and pro level, because what it comes down to literally how fast can you process? I mean, 1, 2, 3. Right? I mean, can you process as the ball is snapped to you, and as soon as it hits your hands, you don't have any time. You have to know. All right, I've read the defense. I feel pretty confident about this. Boom, 1, 2, 3, it's over. That's it. Every play. And so TJ Finley was at LSU. He's going to Auburn. Bo Nix welcomed him. This new staff doesn't have that relationship. They don't feel like they owe Bo Nix anything. This new staff will be like, okay, whoever plays the best, performs at the highest level in August, will start. I don't know. We'll see. Is Bo Nix look more G5 to me than Power 5? Yes. Is that a shot? No, because Blake and I, along with 90-something% of our listeners, would have walked on hot coal to have a Southern Miss Troy La Tech offer in anything. I mean, those are big boy offers. I mean, so is like UT Chattanooga. That's an unbelievable offer. UT Martin, Middleton, whatever. Y'all know where I'm going. But Bo Nix, but the bottom line is we have to call it. Not everybody is Power 5. Not everybody's G5. And some G5 players are better than P5. But you know where I'm going. What does this look like for Auburn as Ole Miss and Mississippi State will play Auburn? And Auburn's in transition. That could be a winnable game for Lane Kiffin and Mike Leach. The Lane Train and Matt Corral, Mike Leach and Will Rogers. You know, what does that look like? Can you put yourself in position to give Auburn all they want on the road this year? Because they're in some transition. Do they have players? Sure. Are they talented? No doubt. Blake, we'll see. Bo Nix, TJ Finley. What do we have?
Well, and Ole Miss pulls Auburn in October 30th. So by that point, if there is any back and forth, like you're going to be really well into the back and forth or the issues, should there be any. Or the other side of the coin is by that point they'll have ironed out any issues. They'll have a clear-cut starter and maybe have settled in under the new regime. You don't ever know.
Man, does Bryan Harsin understand the pressure cooker that he's walking into, Blake?
No.
I don't think he does either. I know he's a smart guy, talented coach, good football coach, did a good job at Arkansas State, did a good job at Boise State. But as Dave Bartu laid out to us, Boise State has the most talent, has more talent than their opponent every time they walk out on the field in G5. There's something to that at the high school level, college level. I mean, dude, when you roll out the ball and you have more talent than anybody else, again, your margin for error is so much greater than the other teams. Hey, the show is brought to you by the Porterhouse. Let's go with the Porterhouse bacon wrapped shrimp and a side of hot tamales at Kessler Prime in the Renaissance. Visit KesslerPrime.com to make a reservation. I want to get back into some QB discussion, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, and the fact that Elijah Moore won the C Spire Connerly. This is ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Detillier, 8:30.
You're listening to the Out of Bounds Show podcast powered by the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino at the Pearl River Resort. To get in on the action, visit Golden Moon Casino today.
All right, Blake told me I had to be quiet, start doing the show again, so I'll do that. The Out of Bounds Show is brought to you by our friends at Edwin Watts Golf Shop on County Line Road. So you need a new driver, set of irons, putter, golf balls, shoes, among many, many other things. Edwin Watts Golf Shop on County Line Road. Carrie and the crew will take care of you. Edwin Watts Golf Shop on County Line Road. Before you go to Live Oaks Golf Club, before you go smash a Philly cheesesteak sandwich at Roosevelt's at Live Oaks, got to go to Edwin Watts Golf. Or before you head to Dancing Rabbit Golf Club to hammer maybe a bowl of their seafood gumbo. Boom, you got to go to Edwin Watts Golf Shop. And our kind of golf discussion this week on Phil Mickelson, which was awesome, winning the PGA Championship, is always brought to you by Edwin Watts Golf Shop on County Line Road. Show is also brought to you by the audio and video leader in the state of Mississippi, and that's Sound and Communication, Soundcom. Boy, they've got a great new location right by Rick's Pro Truck commercial. Very, very cool. They did a great job. They're right there by the airport, again, by Miskelly's RPT commercial. Sound and Communications, audio, video. They work with high schools, junior colleges, G5, P5, you name it, businesses. The leader in audio and video, AV, and that is Sound and Communication, Soundcom, another great Mississippi business. And shout out to them. Show is also presented by the M Braves, Blake Mania. The M Braves are in town again this week, Tuesday through Sunday. Beautiful ballpark. I mean, a beautiful ballpark. Great place to watch baseball in the metro area. Their roster is loaded with big-time players from the Atlanta Braves farm system. And the Mississippi Braves, you can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Instagram and Twitter. M Braves in the house this week, Tuesday through Sunday. The M Braves. Out of Bounds, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Blake, my takeaway on Steve Palazzolo, who joined us at 7:35 today when talking about Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, is that Aaron Rodgers will not be wearing green and yellow this year for the Green Bay Packers, and they will have to find a deal and figure something out and move off of Aaron Rodgers and shuffle in Jordan Love too early, who they drafted 2 drafts ago, to be their starting quarterback out of Utah State. And if that happens, I guess the question is, if it happens, where will Aaron Rodgers land for the last 3, 4, or 5 years of his career? Is it the Denver Broncos? Is it the Miami Dolphins? Do the Packers look at this and go, we need more insurance. We need Tua. We like Jordan Love, but we haven't been as impressed as we thought we would have been. And we need some more insurance, so we need to do this deal with the Miami Dolphins, and we'll take Tua Tagovailoa, and we'll let you have Aaron Rodgers, and we'll drop him in the AFC so that he is not in the NFC with us. We can tolerate that. Blake, what do you think?
Would you rather, let's say the draft pick side of things is equal, right? Would you rather make a trade with Miami for Tua, or would you rather make a trade to Las Vegas for Derek Carr.
I'd rather have Derek Carr.
I kind of agree. I think for what Green Bay's already set up to do, Derek Carr feels like it's like you traded in your nice sedan for like a slightly modeled down, right? It's the same. It's another sedan. It just doesn't have all the bells and whistles, right? Like that's Derek Carr to me. He's a cheap Aaron Rodgers. I think he can make a lot of the same offensive schemes work, just not at the elite level that Aaron does.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Or
now that then is John Gruden will pull off one of the most amazing accomplishments in the history of the NFL when he ruins Aaron Rodgers.
Well, and that was my question. If you're Aaron, would you rather go? That was the other side. Would you rather go to Miami, where it looks like they're building, or Las Vegas, where they kind of are swimming in circles?
Oh, I'd rather go to Miami. That's a good football coach. That is a good general manager.
Exactly.
Yes, I'd rather go to Miami. I think Aaron wants he wants to be a star. I mean, he is a star, but he wants to be in a cool town. All three of those towns have a big cool factor. Okay, Las Vegas, awesome. Denver, really cool. Miami, again, like Las Vegas, star-driven, and so on. So even though Denver's not Vegas or Miami, it's very cool. It's very hip. It's got a lot of the bells and whistles that Aaron's looking for. So Las Vegas Raiders, Denver Broncos, Miami Dolphins. I'd rather go the Broncos or the Dolphins, but selfishly for me, maybe to watch a train wreck, John Gruden and Aaron Rodgers together. Because Gruden would probably, it's not guaranteed, but there's a good chance that Gruden would totally screw up Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that could be like a super hot mess. Yeah. That could be that. Talking about drama. And then you throw in that Aaron Rodgers has dated one celebrity actress or NASCAR driver after another. I mean, he dates famous women. Aaron doesn't run into a beautiful woman who's an attorney in a law firm, in Denver or L.A. and date her. Aaron dates stars. So that could be absolutely wild in Las Vegas as they open up their new stadium and we get out of COVID, and John Gruden would want to be the star over Aaron. And I hate to tell, this is the first time that you could say this in Gruden's career.
Mm-hmm.
He would be number 2.
Yep.
And he don't like being number 2. John thinks he should be the star, but that's not how it works. It worked in New Orleans a little bit with both Peyton and Breeze, because Peyton is so, obviously his ego, massive ego, big personality, and Drew is one of the few playing that position who's also a first ballot Hall of Famer and Super Bowl winner that could handle Sean being in the spotlight as much as he was. That ain't going to work in Las Vegas. Aaron Rodgers is the A-list star. And even though Gruden is an A-list star in the NFL broadcasting world and coaching world, he takes a back seat to Aaron Rodgers in that partnership. And Gruden would never do that. So he would totally screw that up. But that'd be fun to watch now. But I'd like to see Aaron compete at a high level. So I think I'd rather see him go to the Broncos or the Dolphins. Aaron Rodgers, that is. Can't wait to see what shakes out. Mike Detillier coming up next on the Out of Bounds show and the Modelo guest line. Speaking of Modelo, Mudbugs, 2 locations in Rankin County. They open tomorrow, slinging crawfish, going into Memorial Day weekend. They have Modelo on draft. So not only is it amazing that they have the best crawfish in the state of Mississippi, Mudbugs at the Reservoir, Mudbugs in Brandon. But they have Modelo on draft. Also, shout out to Havana Smoke Shop. We'll be back in a second.
You're listening to the Out of Bounds Show podcast, powered by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Try a Tito's Handmade Margarita today.
All right, cool. We'll have Detillier here in just a second. The SEC Insider Hit this morning is brought to you by Havana Smoke Shop. Premium cigars for the weekend. Well, not just the weekend, but Havana, I-55 North, Frontage Road, and Havana Smoke Shop right across from Shaggy's at the Reservoir, right? Perdomos, Olivas, Fuentes, Liga Privadas, La Flor Dominicanas. Just awesome selection of cigars. Havana Smoke Shop, 2 locations in the metro area. Havana Smoke Shop. The show is also brought to you by Went McGee, the Mortgage Man. MortgageManMS.com. MortgageManMS.com. Went McGee, the Mortgage Man. MortgageManMS.com. We'll go to the Modelo guest line and welcome in our friend Mike Detillier, WWL Radio TV New Orleans. Mike joins us on the Modelo guest line, and we were talking Aaron Rodgers earlier today, and Aaron Rodgers just did an interview with Kenny Mayne with ESPN as Kenny Mayne heads out of ESPN. Great talent, by the way. And Aaron's just not holding back. You know, he's frustrated. And it doesn't look like they're going to be able to put this thing back together. Maybe. But post-June 1, you can do a little bit more than you can do prior to June 1 as far as moving players and so on. And so Mike's an NFL insider. We'll get what Mike has to say about this as far as if he does move, could it be the Broncos, the Dolphins, the Raiders, which I think will be an absolute S show with John Gruden's ego. But anyway, Mike Detillier on the Out of Bounds show. Mike, it doesn't look like Aaron Rodgers is budging on that. He's ticked off and he's frustrated. And this is kind of continues to develop. It's week to week. What do you think happens in June or July with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers?
Okay, I put myself in the position of the Packers GM and president and said, what's going to give me the best chance to win this year? Is it with Jordan Love at quarterback, Blake Bortles at quarterback, or do I try to do everything I can to bring Aaron Rodgers back? Okay, it's simple. Do you want to be part of the crew that sent Aaron Rodgers off somewhere and your team struggles, and you've already had your star receiver say, and listen, if Aaron's not here, that I would think long and hard about re-signing with this team. Okay, you're already feeling the aftershocks of all this. You've got a spoiled fan base. Okay, you've went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Really good quarterback play for a long period of time. You understand what you have with Jordan Love. He's a developmental player at best at this stage. And I'm doing everything I can to bring him back. The optics tell you they can't piece it together. But the reality is you have no choice but to try to piece something together that would have Aaron come back in Green Bay. You can be arrogant about it and say, I'll deal him off. I'll show you. And then what happens when you 6 wins and 11 losses or 5-12? What do you do then? You're not going to have a happy camp fan base, and they aren't happy now. And so you've got a situation here where in doing shows in Green Bay, I can tell you, the fan base there is 80-20 Aaron Rodgers. And what happens when you lose the other 20? When you're going to see Jordan Love out on the field?
Hey.
I'm just telling you, it's easy to say deal him off. You know, but man, you got to wake up every morning and stare in that mirror and say, yeah, I was a tough guy. I showed him. I dealt him off. And then guess what? The reality is you have to face tomorrow without him on a team that's not going anywhere without him at quarterback.
No. That's
you're not
a great
winning
point.
nothing with Jordan Love or Blake Bortles. Nothing.
No. All right, so if the divorce is inevitable and this thing's going to go down in June or July, we're visiting with Mike Detillier, NFL insider, on the Modelo guest line. If this is going to happen and you're the Packers, Mike, do you try to get – I mean, Denver sounds awesome, but you're not getting a good quarterback or what you think may be a good quarterback back. If you do something with the Raiders, you could get Derek Carr. Okay. Could live with that, maybe put that together, maybe go 10-6. If you do something with the Dolphins, maybe you could go 9-7, maybe 10-6 with Tua, although we're not convinced that he's an NFL QB. But so how do you see that playing out, Mike?
I see Aaron Rodgers staying in Green Bay.
Okay.
Again, we can throw out a lot of scenarios, and Denver could probably give up the most amount of capital to acquire him. But what does it help me in 2021? Because that's how I'm going to get measured and what happens in 2021. And, okay, you can say, oh, well, they'll give me, 2 first-round picks, so forth and so on. Put Aaron Rodgers on that Denver team. Where are you picking in round 1? You're not picking in the top 10 or top 15 or top 20.
No.
Denver is going to be a playoff team. So you got to be smart enough if you decide, okay, enough's enough, I got to deal him. If you deal him off to a team that's just a quarterback piece away, you're not getting high draft choices for him. You might say, well, I got a first-round pick. Yeah, I'm picking 23rd. Or I'm picking 27th or whatever. So there's a lot to put on the scale here when you look at it. I don't think the Raiders I've heard that, but I can't believe that at this stage. Because I think that they're going to roll with Carr for this year with Gruden. Even though he's never satisfied with anybody at quarterback. And he'll never be satisfied with anyone.
Right.
Because that's part of the problem with him. Okay, he's really the offensive coordinator and throwing all the stuff defensively to someone else because that's not his forte. And that's the problem with the Raiders. It's not that they can't score, it's they can't stop anyone. But he doesn't have the mindset to understand that today because he's so hard-headed about, I'm going to beat you offensively. Okay, that's great. And you're going to be entertaining if you can average 30 points a game. But if you're giving up 34, you're losing. So you win one, you lose one when you start to get into these shootouts. And so I think if it's any team, I think it's Denver or nothing at this stage. You turn down situations to deal him to the Rams, excuse me, and to the 49ers before the draft. Before the Rams traded for Stafford, that first phone call was to Green Bay about Aaron. and you turned it down. Knowing what was going on, you turned down the 49ers when they called. So now, all of a sudden, you're going to want to make a deal? It's not going to happen. Just not. And if you make a deal, it's going to be a bad one for you, not a good one. The other team's got the advantage. And if it's Denver, they got a major advantage.
Mike Detillier, WWL Radio TV New Orleans. He joins us on the Modelo guest line. You're listening to the Out of Bounds show. So one of the biggest stars in the league is unhappy, and he is downright ticked, and we'll see what happens. Now, Mike seems to believe that they're going to go one more year, and then they'll divorce, and then, they'll figure it out after that because they know that Jordan Love can't play either ever or right now, and that, as Mike said, the only chance they have to do anything this year is to win 10-plus games is with Aaron Rodgers.
Now, Julio Jones is a different story. That's a different story because I think that's going to happen.
Okay.
I think that deal with whoever or whomever is going to occur. You're not going to get a first-round pick in return. I know you can ask for it, but you're not getting anything close to that. You'd be very lucky at this stage to get a team to give you a second-round pick for Julio. But I don't see him returning to Atlanta. I think that deal is good. I think that's a much more likelier situation than the Aaron Rodgers, because you got to find the right team to deal him off because of there's some finances involved, but it has to be kind of, if I'm Atlanta, I'm trying to get him out of the NFC, and I'll try to deal him to an AFC team. Man, if I'm the Tennessee Titans and I've got Brown and I got Derrick Henry, and if I feel as though defensively I'm pretty good, man, Julio becomes a major player for me. He gives me a guy that Ryan Tannehill can go to, especially red zone, short yardage situations, to put points on the board and to get that safety out of the box because of Derrick Henry. If I can get Julio out there, and maybe I can piece something together and say give him a third-round pick and another pick maybe the following year, I do it because the AFC, to me, has become the much tougher conference to win. And I get a weapon like Julio Jones that I can put opposite A.J. Brown. And man, I got me something now. Unless you want to line up and you want to put a guy in the box, okay, put that safety in the box. Now I got two receivers that can get downfield. And it would make it an interesting show for 2021 for the Tennessee Titans if you could peel that off and get Julio Jones. So, and John Robinson's been a guy that's taken a chance. Look what he did to get Jadeveon Clowney, who did squat, nothing, with the Titans a year ago. He did virtually nothing. His first-round picks last couple of years, one of them is completely out of the NFL. 1 year past being picked in round one. And, he took a real gamble this year in picking a corner who's had 2 back injuries that has required surgery. Man, if you're going to be that risky, why not try to make this deal for Julio Jones?
Okay, and if Julio goes to the Titans, man, that makes A.J. Brown even better, which is pretty awesome. And
well, he ain't going to see a lot of double-team coverage for a while. He might see it every once in a while.
No.
but it won't be full-time. And so I'm telling you that for me, if I'm Robinson, I try to make that deal. I know John. John's actually started. He was going to be a coach, and his coaching career started about 10 minutes from where I live today at Nicholls State University. He was the linebackers coach there. Came in as a GA and then became full-time linebackers coach. And then I remember one day him telling me, hey, guess what? I got a chance. I'm going to be a scout for the New England Patriots. And he left. That started his scouting career. But he was a coach here. It started his coaching career. But he's a guy I think that'd be willing to do that. And you put a big piece receiver opposite Brown. And again, what it does, a little bit of football chess here, most teams, when they're going to play the Titans, set safeties up on the line of scrimmage because of Derrick Henry. It not only helps A.J. Brown, it helps Derrick Henry. Mm-hmm. Because now you've got to be able to maneuver coverage-wise to cover both of them. And you can't do that with that safety right up on the line of scrimmage. It opens up their offense tremendously if you can do it. And they have enough cap space that they can make it work. Again, it's compensation. And I think Terry, I know he's asking for a first, but you're not going to get that. And you'd be lucky to get a second today for Julio. Just because of age, you've had some injuries, cap. But if you could piece something together where you would give him a third this year, or a third in 2022, and a future pick, I think that's doable at this stage. Because you know what? They don't want to hear it anymore. And now with kind of the situation yesterday with, Shannon Sharp calling him up and him saying, I'm out of here and that sort of thing, how much longer do you want to roll with this? And after June 1st, you can kind of divert a little bit of that salary cap money. So I think that's a much more doable situation. He does have a very good relationship also with Bill Belichick. And why I say that is because of the fact he worked for the Patriots for a long time before he went to Tampa Bay as I think he was the assistant college director of scouting. But he does have a connection with Bill, having worked there for a long period of time. And again, that would work for me also. You can understand him on that team with Cam Newton. But I think the Falcons will deal him and try to deal him out of the NFC. And I think the two most likeliest places would, one, be Tennessee and then New England. Terry has worked for the Saints for a long period of time. The one team the Saints have had a lot of dealings with throughout the years has been the New England Patriots. They've made a number of deals with the Patriots. Why, I don't know, but they have.
Mike Detillier, WWL Radio TV New Orleans on the Modelo guest line. Interesting on Aaron Rodgers and Julio Jones. All right, Mike, let's switch gears. I got about 3 minutes here. Paul Manieri, LSU baseball coach. What a week to discuss this after SEC Network dropped the Skip Bertman doc. But Manieri, is he now going to stay at LSU, or is he going to retire at the end of the year? What's going to play out in Baton Rouge with Paul Manieri, LSU's baseball coach?
The beginning of each year, I write a little column on what I think will happen. And one of the things I felt from talking to the powers that be was that I think I've always felt this was going to be Paul's last year, and he would retire. And so I that's where I think it'll go out. You saw his emotional sort of talk after winning his 1500th game. He was very emotional about that. And so my own feeling, it was back in December when I wrote the article, and it is today, that Paul will walk away from the game. And you know, he did a really – it's tough. Smoke Laval, he just burned up, you know, following Skip. You know, that's some big moccasins to feel.
Sure.
And Paul's done a really good job the last couple of years, though. You can see that there's been some disconnect here. And I think for Paul, he gets it too. And Scott Woodard made a comment that, you know, him and I were joking around, and I asked him about, you know, coming to LSU, and he said, well, I'm not here to give extensions. I'm here to put the black hat on. I got exactly what he meant. He's there because LSU knew that they were going to have to make some tough decisions with coaches. And, you know, with Nicky Fargas leaving, bringing in Kim Mulkey, he did give the extension to Orgeron that he was part of. And, you know, who knows Will Wade? Yo, when you got the FBI and the NCAA up your keister, you know, who knows what happens on that end. But, and, you know, Dede Bro was another one. Long-time employee, great gymnast coach all those years. And, you know, Dede just had enough of it and walked away, retired. And I sort of think the same thing will happen with Paul. I think he knows it's at the end. And I think Paul won't be going long. They'll have a new baseball coach real quick. That they know that what they've sunk into that baseball program, facility-wise, everything else, that baseball really matters here in a huge way. And they're going to go out and try to get them the best coach they can get their hands on.
All right, so I don't think O'Sullivan's leaving Florida. I've only got 30 seconds to a minute. I don't think O'Sullivan's leaving Florida. Real quick, do you, and if not, who do you think it may be? The Tennessee coach, Batallo, or what?
I think he'd certainly be on a very short list of coaches that they would have a tremendous interest in. But the one thing with Scott, his lists are always short for whatever. He knows who he wants, and he's going to throw everything he has to go get it. So me to throw names out, I'd probably be bad doing it. But I do know one thing with him. He's always told me, I'm prepared when those moments happen. And I think as soon as Manieri would retire, it wouldn't be more than 72 hours. That new coach is right there.
Okay. We'll leave it there. Mike Detillier, at Mike Detillier on Twitter, WWL Radio, TV New Orleans, joined us on the Modelo guest line. Mike, thank you, buddy. Take care.
Thank you, bud.
Awesome. That was fun. Man, 2 home run interviews today on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in the NFL. And we mixed in a couple other things. Dak, Paul Manieri. Good show. Hour number 3 coming up. Out of Bounds, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN.